Hello, my name is Ian Finley. I know Ms. Christensen from many years ago. I'm an actor and playwright living in Raleigh, North Carolina. I've been working professionally in the theater for 25 years or so. I went to the actor training program at the University of Utah, which is where you might go if you are serious about acting. I did my graduate work at New York University, which is where you might go if you're serious about writing for theater or film. Ms. Christensen asked for folks who've had some experience with this to talk about one of the difficult truths of working in creative arts, whether that's professionally or even in school, like you. And that truth is, you are not going to be cast. Now I know this sounds horrible, because it seems like this is a statement about your talent or your skill or your intelligence or your attractiveness, and that is where you are fundamentally self-destructively wrong. You are not going to be cast, and this is a statement about math, and that's it. Whereas in most industries, there are approximately the number of jobs available in a field as there are people to fill those positions because of certain side effects of supply and demand, there is nothing like that governing theater. In a given production, there is one Cinderella and there is one prince, no matter how big the audience, how big the cast, or how big the pool of auditioners. So in this field, uniquely, the odds are always enormously stacked against you, no matter your talent, skill, intelligence, etc. Which can make you think, well, if I'm just better than those other folks, then I'll get the role. But this is wrong in two tremendous ways. The first is that the very qualities that make you perfect for one role make you imperfect for another role. Theater does not present an unchanging set of needs that always favors the same top 2%. Different shows need different things. You may be the most incredible tenor I've ever heard, but if I'm casting the role of Sweeney Todd, I need a bass baritone. Conversely, you may be an excellent bass baritone, but that probably prevents you from being cast if I'm casting the role of Pippin. So, this thinking makes us devalue the very qualities in ourselves that make us great performers, because we are imagining that there is only a certain type of person who gets cast, as if there was only a certain type of role in this world. But the second effect of this wrong thinking, of this I need to be better than the other people auditioning, the second effect of this is actually worse, because it leads us to comparison with other artists. And this is absolutely fatal. It is fatal to you, it is fatal to the production, and it is fatal to your career. Let's begin with the simple part. As Theodore Roosevelt said, comparison is the thief of joy. If you are comparing yourself to someone else, you will always be miserable, because it is a law of reality that there is always someone better than you in some dimension. And I've seen it happen hundreds of times, that a person who has somehow achieved unparalleled success in a given sphere is miserable, because they compare themselves to someone more successful in a different sphere. To compare yourself to others is to poison your own heart, which is bad. But it is also to poison your own art, which may be worse. That is to say, a real marathon runner does not focus on any other runners. They focus on their last best time. That is what they are trying to beat. A real artist, likewise, doesn't think about any other artists. Their focus is on the art itself. To do otherwise, even a little bit, is to end up with something hollow and derivative, made only to try to copy someone else's style. You've seen movies like this. You've seen acting like this. It's boring and empty, and you know it immediately. The only way to avoid this is to focus on what you're actually creating, the role you're performing, the set you're building, and make it as close as you can to the brilliant vision you have in your head. That is the only goal. And if you are focused on that, it is not possible to focus on what other people are doing. And if you are focused on what other people are doing, you are not focused on the act of creation itself. You are focusing on the comparing. And that's not why we go to the theater, to see someone comparing themselves to others. Now, luckily, there is a practical offshoot of this focus on the art itself, irrespective of what you get cast as or if you get cast at all. Firstly, it will make you better. In the over 20 years I've been in this field, I have never seen an actor get better by focusing on other actors. On the other hand, I have seen dozens of actors improve in ways I can barely express because they focused on doing the work, delving into the character, living honestly in the imaginary circumstances on stage. You can do these things in the smallest ensemble role in the show. And so that tiny ensemble role becomes the whetstone to sharpen all your skills to be ready for the leading role. And more importantly, it becomes a source of joy just as great as any leading role. Look, if you're auditioning for a show only because you want the lead, you are likely to be very unhappy even if you get the lead. You're looking through the telescope through the wrong end. On the other hand, if you are auditioning for a show because you want to be part of the joy and camaraderie of making theater, then you will be delighted however you are cast. And as a sort of backdoor, a side effect, you will develop the ability to be that lead eventually, should that role be the right fit for you. In my own career, I have been not cast in far more shows than I have been cast in. This is a mathematical truth of the industry. But no one keeps an anti-resume of all the shows you didn't get into. That would be insane. The only ones that count are the shows where you are cast, whether that took one audition or 10 to add that to your resume. And eventually, those roles that you dream about will happen as a side effect of doing the work. I have had now the opportunity to play every role on my bucket list except one, and I was just cast in that role. So I actually need to start rehearsing and get off of this video. So good luck to you. May you find incredible joy in all that you do. Act well your part, for there all honor lies.